You're listening to the Water Cooler Edit with Chris and Rich.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Water Cooler Edit with my Bayut. On this episode we'll be talking about, it's a time of year I don't really like. A lot of people do like it, but I don't really like this time of year. We'll also be talking about a new attraction that's in Elaine. And yes, you should definitely drive down there because it's really, really cool. We've got a little bit of a mystery that we'll be telling you about later on in the podcast, so stay tuned. As always, it's myself, Chris, and Rich. Thank you so much for joining me, as always.
Cheers, mate. How you doing?
Fantastic.
Excellent. There we go.
So, as we said, we'll move on to the first subject here, and of course is back to school.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into it, I did say that it's not my favourite time of the year, and I'll tell you why. Because the traffic returns.
Ah, yes.
And every time it gets more and more. There's always more and more people on the road. And I just enjoy the summertime so much here. It's the reason I don't actually go on holiday.
Yep.
I enjoy the heat, and I enjoy the amount of traffic that we have because there's no traffic. I can get to the office in 10 minutes. You know, it's a breeze. I don't have to worry about going one direction because there's going to be so many cars in the way and there's so much traffic. No, I can just glide my way to the office.
I'm with you, man. I know what you mean. I actually like summer here as well. And one of the reasons being that so many people do kind of leave, that it kind of chills out a bit, not the weather, but especially on the roads, right? So
yeah, exactly. Enjoy your holiday for longer, please. Be my guest. Enjoy it for as long as possible.
Till Christmas. There you
yes,
go. Yeah,
exactly.
But yeah, back to school is upon us, right? So people are going to be arriving back. August 28th is the start of the academic year.
It seems really short this year. I don't know why. It seems like it's been and gone so fast.
It does, actually. It has kind of flown past. But all the back to school sales are out there for the various... Well, anything you need to go back to school, really. What do you need? Clothes, pencils. Do they still even use pencils?
I don't think so.
No, that's it.
Probably a computer, I guess.
Yeah.
A new bag to put your laptop in. You know, the state-of-the-art laptop that the kids all have nowadays.
Do you remember when you went to school, there was always like one kid who would have a rucksack that was so big it was almost bigger than him? Do you remember that? There always used to be like a little kid who would just have like a massive rucksack. Were you that kid?
Well, I wasn't little. I was in proportion to the bag, so it kind of didn't look that big, did it? I matched the bag.
Was your bag big enough for you to actually get in it? Is that what?
Yeah, and I used to have phone handsets on either side, right? That would plug into your phone, so you could. I plugged them in, and you could connect it to your phone, and you could have a phone conversation like that on an old-fashioned telephone.
Hey, that's fantastic, man. So, look, the back-to-school sales, on the blog, we've got articles on online sales and in-house sales, right? So, I mean, some of the major ones, First Cry, online sale. I use those guys for a lot of Lego stuff because they have some good Lego deals on there. Their back-to-school sale is... it's huge. They say it's the biggest online. I'm sure I haven't got any reason to doubt them. Great discounts. You can get an extra 10% off. And they pretty much cover every aspect of going back to school from clothes through to, like you say, iPads, whatever, laptops, and all that. So it is that time of year. I used to hate going back to school. I used to hate it.
We all did. We all did, and now that we've grown up, we also hate it when they go back to school, right? Because the traffic is here, isn't it? It's like there's no end to it. It's just a cycle of, no, I don't want to go back to school. Now I don't want them to go back to school because then I'm going to get stuck in traffic.
It's just, I used to love, because my birthday is right at used to be just after the schools broke up. Like, this is back in the UK. So the summer holidays used to start with my birthday, and I just lazy summer days. Well, they weren't lazy then because I actually had energy, but I used to love it. And then going back to school just felt so,
I know what you mean.
But this is not the attitude I should be showing. It's fantastic. School's brilliant, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, it's wonderful. The best thing ever. It's great. The education system here is pretty good. So
yeah, no, this is
I can
true.
imagine there are a lot of students that are probably very excited to go back. Obviously, seeing some friends that they haven't seen for a long time, meeting new faces. Obviously, some are going into higher education.
Yeah.
So of course, they're progressing in life. They're getting to the next step. And it is, I kind of do miss school from time to time. Obviously, life was a lot easier.
Yeah.
It was sometimes harder,
Less
But-
responsibilities in it, I would
That's
say.
true, yeah.
Right, because responsibilities catch up. Whereas you become more adult, you can't escape them.
Exactly.
They hunt you down, responsibilities. So there is obviously there's pressure at school. I'm not saying there's not,
Yeah.
right, and in education, but there is a sense of freedom as well at that time of your life. That's kind of nice, right? I guess.
Yep, true.
That's the best I can do. That's the best I can do. I can't. That's the nicest I can be about school.
Well, with back to school just around the horizon, and do tell us in the comment section below if your kids, or even if you are going back to school, let us know in the comment section below and let us give a shout out to the school that you are currently attending or going to attend at the moment. But before you go back to school, want to go on a little road trip? Why not head down to Al-Ain of all places? Because Al-Ain is wonderful, right? It's a lot colder than it is here in Dubai. It's a lot colder than any other emirate as well because they have a lot of mountainous regions. Okay, it's maybe not as cold as Fujairah. Fujairah is a bit out of there, you know. It rains there quite a fair bit, even in the summertime. But Al-Ain is also really nice, you know. There's a lot of mountains, as we said before. There's a lot of greenery. But now there is a man-made salt cave that you were telling me about earlier today.
There is, yeah. There's a man-made salt cave. It's actually opened last year, but word of mouth has spread, and people are really getting on board with this. 16 tons of natural salt. It's the largest man-made cave in the country, most probably in the region, and it's inspired by the salt mines of Krakow or Krakow, however you want to say it, in Poland. Very famous. They hold like concerts down there and stuff like that. Right, this place is in Al-Ain is really quite impressive, right? And numerous different treatments for up to 18 ailments, including so it can help to remedy like allergies, eczema, like skin stuff like psoriasis, and also arthritis, with the plague of the elderly, arthritis. So like and various, so there's you just breathe in the salt. You can have various treatments. They've got a sea mud treatment, so you get kind of covered in.
So it's kind of like
salty mud.
It's an all-in-one. It's a way that you can persuade people to go there if you're not feeling so great. You can be like, oh no, I know I'm not feeling great, but you know what? I really want to go to the Al-Ain Salt Caves. Because I'll feel a lot better. I mean, it looks nice.
It does. It looks cool. You can have like body massages. You can just do the salt therapy, which is 25 dirhams for 25 minutes. And I'm not entirely sure what that involves. I don't know. You just sit in the corner and people throw salt at you.
Maybe. Can you maybe scrape some off the ceiling and then put that on your food or something?
Yeah, you can, but that's what you say. You take food in with you, like take KFC.
Yeah.
And then you scrape.
Would you put salt on KFC though?
Only on the fries, not actually on the chicken.
Don't do this.
Anyway,
by the way.
we digress. We digress.
Yeah. Don't do this, by the way, because I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be damaging anything to do that is natural, basically.
Absolutely.
So don't do any of this. Don't scrape the walls. Don't etch your name into anything. Don't
take KFC.
Don't destroy it. Exactly. Don't take KFC in there. It's you don't want the place stinking up like chicken. It smells amazing, but you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, because I mean, salt. Obviously, I mean, you notice. To be honest with you, when I was younger, I had eczema, right? And when we used to go on holiday, and I'd go in the sea, and the salt water must get used to improve, like. Unbelievably.
Where would you?
Right?
That's the most English thing I think I've ever heard you say on the podcast, besides supporting Yeovil FC. So where would you go for a British holiday?
Oh, we didn't go on many British holidays, but if we did, we would probably go down to Bournemouth or Brighton.
Yeah, no, I knew Brighton was coming. I knew it.
Brighton's a great place.
See, I've got no English experience. I've lived my life overseas, but I still know that if you go to the beach during the summertime, Brighton is the place to go.
Especially if you live in London, right? That's kind of...
Yeah, true.
It takes about an hour, and it is the seaside location of choice.
So predictable, isn't it? Now, for our final topic, we left this as a nice little mystery here. Now, what is this mysterious topic that we've got here right at the end?
It's a mysterious abandoned village in Sharjah. Have you heard of this place, Chris?
I think there's one if I remember correctly, there's one in Iraq.
There's a palace in Iraq that's was abandoned in the 90s, I think, or in the 80s.
Actually, I think I know about this one because there is probably I think it's a village area that actually people go to, right? And they visit the place. I've seen a couple of people actually drive through there with their four-wheel drives and everything like that. I've seen people go through there in a sedan, which is mind-boggling when you think about it. But I guess with enough lift on the car, you can probably do it.
Yeah.
So is that what it is? It's
basically it's in the middle of the desert in Sharjah. This place, right? It's an hour's drive from Dubai, and it is what it says, right? It's an abandoned village. The village was built in the late 1970s, predominantly for the Al Ketbi tribe, Bedouins, to give them more permanent accommodation's the wrong word, but housing, right? So, but because of where it is, it was found to be quite inhospitable, right? And also there were rumours about jinns and ghosts, and also that people thought there was something supernatural with the sand around there that invaded the houses because it kept coming in, and so this is all just rumours and speculation, but people always read into this stuff. So in the mid-90s, they moved everyone out to various, as the cities developed as well, right? So there were better opportunities and better places for these people to live. Yeah. So they moved them out, but the village was still there, right? So it's got a mosque, it's got various houses, it's got and all that. Some of them have still got like furniture in and bookcases and all this kind of stuff. So it's basically been abandoned since the mid-90s. Now, the reason it's got in the news, it's always been popular. It's called the Al Madam village. And the reason it's popular, a lot of people like this kind of stuff, abandoned stuff, right? But it's got back in the news recently because they're going to reclaim it from the desert, right? Because what's been happening, because it's been the mid-90s, the sand is just getting higher and higher and higher. The village is disappearing under the desert. So they're going to reclaim it in the way that, not reclaim it as in do anything with the buildings or restore them or anything. It's just going to kind of clear some of the sand so people can. So there's still something to visit rather than just going and seeing a mass of sand and no buildings.
Fair enough. I mean, maybe what they could do as well then is they should have like an area where you can do it and have a spade, dispensary that you could get a spade and you can kind of dig up the house yourself.
You can help. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Turn up, help. And, you get some photos and then do some digging.
Of course. And you learn at the same time, right? You learn about this fascinating place in Sharjah.
Yeah, there you go. It's got, actually, in the article on My Bayut, we've got photos from the village.
Before and after?
No, they haven't. The after bit hasn't happened yet. It was actually the ruler of Sharjah who announced that they're going to start this reclaiming project. So I think it's imminent that they'll start doing it. But obviously they got concerned because, like I say, the sand was rising and rising, and in the end it was just going to be a big dune. And someone say there's a village under there
somewhere. It's under there somewhere. Yeah, I can imagine that's a bit problematic.
Do you like this kind of stuff though? Like kind of some people say it's like dark tourism, right? Go to places where that have got quite are they haunted? Are they not? All that.
Yeah,
kind of stuff,
I mean
right?
it would. I don't get me wrong. It's intriguing. Would I go? Probably not, because that involves me leaving the house.
Yeah, fair.
I could always just look at it online, not read about it, but watch a video of it online or something.
You could look at the photos in our article.
There, you could do that too. Would I stay the night there? Probably not. I do like these kind of things. Don't get me wrong, but I think those noises that you hear and everything like that, and it's just so. When you hear the stories of the possibilities of what is there, like you said. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could do it.
And it is. I mean, it's quite remote, right? So, I mean, you know what it's like out in the desert in the night anyway. If you've camped out there, I mean, it can be pretty quiet and very well. Yeah, it's a great place for seeing the stars and stuff.
Yeah.
But very dark, very quiet, and all that. If you're in an abandoned village or near that's going to be. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'd do a daytime visit for me, Chris.
I'm with you there. But of course. That's it for this episode. And if you'd like to learn any more about the subjects that we've discussed on this episode of the Water Cooler Edit, you can of course check out the My Bayut blog, which is Bayut.com/MyBayut. Let us know in the comment section below if you'll be visiting this abandoned village. Will you be doing it before the new project starts, or will you be doing it afterwards? I think you should go before and after. I think we should do that as well.
That's a good idea, isn't it? Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, before and after, so we can see the effects of the project, and we can see it before the project is instigated. I think that's good. You need to drive me out there, Chris.
I don't want to go anymore. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
You're listening to the Water Cooler Edit with Chris and Rich.